sequence from. So one thing that I have my students do is that they bring in a piece of vernacular music for them, whether it's from their culture, meaning where their parents were from. I remember last fall I had an Asian student. She was from her parents. She was from the United States. Her parents were from Japan. She brought in a Japanese folk song for that. Some other people will just bring in general American folk songs, and that was a great way for me to see what is the understanding of these students, and what is the general what are the important parts of this music that can be taught. Because if you're drawing from what they already know, it makes instruction so much easier. I mean, think of a time when you were in a classroom and you were doing. I'm trying to think of an example that'll go across band and orchestra. Say you were doing some Bach chorales, right? Bach chorales, very straightforward, and as far as the rhythm goes, very even. But then you have someone, and you have in one part it goes ba ba ba, and someone notices that, and they're like, I heard that before. Where did that come from?
NOC.
Yeah, exactly. And so they take that experience, and that's a very simple, straight, that has nothing, that is culture, really, because culture, there's a TV culture. We'll talk a little bit more about that in technology today. There is a culture there. And so you're drawing from these experiences and bringing them into your education. So, anyone have any experience like that where they were teaching in the act, and then someone said, "Hey, this sounds like this other song there," or brought something in, and the kids just latched onto it. Unless you're really specifically looking for a specific journal or book or something like that, you're going to do more of the next ones down. Keyword searches, similar to controlled vocabulary searches, but these are more thematic. Keywords are either one or two words that you're looking for, and they're very specific to what you're going to research. Usually they're used as search variables when you go onto a website, and they actually have them as either tags or keywords. It's kind of the same idea. And a lot of the journals now are asking authors to include keywords in their manuscript so that you have that available, and usually it's a list of like 5, 6, 7 maybe keywords that pertain to an article. So an article could be like music cognition, childhood development, music literacy, and historical background. It could be those keywords for that article, depending on what it's about. But it usually gives you a good idea, and what you're doing is taking that from your research idea, coming up with the keywords after you do some other, after you've done a broad search. Computer searches, which basically is everything you do. You're doing computer searches. Even when you go to the library and you're looking for physical things, you're doing computer searches. So we'll talk a little bit about where you can do that. Internet searches, same idea. Computer searches and internet searches. Computer searches are specifically for like card catalogs. It used to be back in the day. Did anyone ever experience a card catalog? Like a real physical card catalog? Well, I worked at Sibley Music Library up at Eastman. I was like the front desk guy, and every once in a while, because who knows why, the winter was crazy, so we would lose computer systems or the internet or whatever, and so they'd have to use a card catalog, and it was things like all across. If this room was full across the walls, that's how many cards they cabinets they had. You had to sift through very, very carefully. No longer. Now you just throw it into a search engine. It brings you a bunch of stuff. A lot of irrelevant stuff too. And so it's almost like you have to sift through and read abstracts and say, okay, you look at the picture and it's nice. You're like, well, I'll keep going. And try to use some. You just look and find things that stick out to you. Important. Have a good title. A title that means something. Right? And then talking. If you have a topic and you're like, I really want, like, I know about informal music, so if you want some articles about informal music, come talk to me. I'll give you some good insight. I'll point you in the right direction. I got the same thing, and I'm still getting from Dr. No, it's Ben. He's up at Ithaca, and he does the same kind of stuff. He's met a lot of people too, so he pushes me. He's helped me with my lit reviews and things like that too. So it's very helpful talking to people either in the profession or outside that they have an idea of where that academic is. Okay, so initial overview. Let's think about it in I like to draw pictures because I'm that way. I'm visual with that. And so we have, I found this really cool thing online. Or no, I was shown this really cool thing online and I wasn't getting the link for it. So let's say that like this is all of the world's knowledge, right? It's all of the world's knowledge. Everything that we figured out at this moment. And then you are right in the middle here, that's you. Then around here is where what you learn through primary, secondary school. And then you go to college, undergrad, you gain a specialty. Then in your master's, that specialty grows a little bit. And then in your PhD, hopefully, you get to the edge of known information about your subject. So what we're trying to do, though, is we're in this, most of us are in this spot. I'm even kind of here a little bit. I'm still trying to get done with this. You don't really reach this area until you are in and doing your research and creating some of the information yourself. So what happens is we need to get a general overview because who here knows what they're going to do for their thesis or their dissertation? Right. So you